Happy almost Christmas doesn't mean it was Christmas.
So there's an incredible thread on the subreddit right now. I don't know if you saw it.
Which one?
But it says, because of the Phoenix Wright LP, we get to post this tired old joke.
Right.
And you click on it, and it's the fucking message from Kai Lang about fucking Thessia.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, that's just fucking A+. It got me. It actually got me for real.
It continues to get. Yeah. All right.
How you doing, Wooly? You sound like shit.
Well, we are approaching a wall very quickly. I am looking at imminent burnout.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
I'm looking at it. So, I'm doing what I can do to take care of that. And this is one of the final obligations I have.
So let's chill it down.
Let's chill it down.
Have like a relaxed.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's ultimately, it's been, since Tech Foibles all the way through preparation for con travel stuff and recording on and off stream and so on. It's been a pretty breakneck pace. And I landed back yesterday, and so we're going today. At which point I assume a holiday feeling will suddenly immediately start, right? That's how that works. It's going to
rejuvenate you, man.
Out of nowhere.
The light of Christ is going to shoot out of your eyes.
A wind will blow through, and then all of a sudden, all of this fatigue will be gone. Yeah.
No, that era is over. That era stopped when we stopped believing in Santa Claus.
Sick. So, hey, look at that. 300.
Today's 300, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Viewers.
Oh.
There's 300 of y'all out there. That's fun.
It's $2.99 today? Actually.
Damn, look at that. Wow.
Apparently people love Jesus. Well, people thought today the podcast wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
They thought that.
But I didn't say anything, therefore the rules apply.
Yeah.
The rules apply. I don't say nothing.
I'm not too worried about it.
It's okay. Jesus loves them too.
Jesus loves everybody except you, guy who knows who I'm talking about. You know what you did.
I mean, he did cleanse out that marketplace of all the merchants and stuff, and he did talk mad shit that one time by writing something in the dirt.
You know what, Wally? I'm going to be blunt. We don't have the time and energy to go into our usual make fun of Jesus diatribe that we do every year.
Fair enough, but this wasn't going to be a make fun of Jesus moment. This was legit one time. People were talking mad shit. Pharisees were getting uppity, and Jesus just bent down and wrote something in the sand. And we don't know what he wrote, but they read it and just walked away.
I bet it was very mean.
He fucking wrecked their shit.
I bet it was the meanest fucking thing you've ever heard.
Yeah, no, unironically, I'm still hype over that story because they got told
Pharisees
silently.
Are a bunch of bitch boy rage pluggers.
He wrote their ELO he wrote their ELO on the ground, and that was
Let's talk about ELO. Have you been playing Marvel Rivals over the past week at all?
Don't ask me if I've been anything.
Oh yeah, got it, dude.
Everything
that game
came
is
out,
so good,
and
I'm so bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Though to be fair, I gave up. I just fully switched back over to mouse and keyboard.
Oh wow, okay.
So what's happening is on console, you're on ranked, you can only play with console players. And on PC, when you play ranked, you can only play with PC players. But the aim assist does not work the same on a PC or a console.
Like everything else like that.
It is much more aggressive on the console.
For sure. Titanfall, big example.
And what I discovered is that what characters that I thought were good or bad completely inverted once I started using mouse and keyboard. I was like, I don't know why anyone ever picks Adam Warlock, and I'm like, oh my god, if you play with a mouse and keyboard, oh my god, Adam Warlock's so fucking good. Oh my god.
So what you're saying is you're now a Hela main?
No, I'm too shit for that.
Okay, because the moment you learn how to aim, there's no reason to not just play Hella.
Hawkeye is actually a lot more fun for me than Hella because, and I saw people test this, the hitbox on his arrow is like 5 feet around. It's actually super massive.
Okay, is he hit scan as well?
No, he's not. He's Hanzo.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that, like characters that have just like headshot aiming, like one shot down. I feel so bad about like, yeah, if you had this skill, then you would be able to do this, but you don't. Go develop that skill.
They did the holiday event with Jeff the Land Shark to when you played not Splatoon. So it's not as good as Splatoon because it's like a themed gimmick game mode. It's way not worse than Splatoon than I expected. It's much closer to being really good than I thought it was going to be for a 2-week holiday event.
Is it as not worse from Splatoon as Lucio Ball was from...
Oh, it's much better.
Okay.
It's much better.
Because Lucio Ball was a not worse, but... Well, no, that's not true. Lucio Ball was worse than Car Soccer, but...
Yes, Car Soccer was way better than Lucio Ball.
Yeah, but it was a little attempt. It was a fun attempt, you know. Okay.
Yeah, that Marvel Rivals is kind of unbelievable, and I don't know if you've been looking around, but when season 1 comes out in 18 days, there's gonna be like 6 more characters.
Oh, are we still on 0? Is that what we're going with?
This is 0,
right now?
yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So this is the baby starter season. The next one will last like 3 months and is going to include the entire Fantastic Four, Blade, Daredevil, and Ultron.
Okay. Yeah, man, a whole lot of things came out. I'll get to them when I get a chance, but there's a lot to take care of.
But yeah, that Marvel Rivals is kind of unbelievable. I'm so fucking impressed. I'm like madly in love with that shit.
Have they dropped any, like, go fuck yourself, I don't care, I have to have it costumes yet?
So the Battle Pass costumes are all really, really good.
Okay.
Like, they're all really excellent. And there's a couple that people are, like, nuts about, but I haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh, that's an absolute must-have. Like, I paid my $5 and got the Battle Pass ones.
Okay. But they haven't dropped the personalized nuke just yet.
No, but like all the starter costumes are fantastic, to be honest. Like I'm super impressed. Also, it was trivially easy to bang out the whole battle pass. It took me like a week.
That once again has no end date, so even if you didn't.
So I looked that up. I found out what the deal with that is. So the battle pass has no end date, but the currency you use to buy things out of it does.
What does that mean?
So, okay. So it's season 0 now.
Yeah.
And you get the little purple tokens that you use to buy things out of the battle pass, right? At the end of season 0, your purple tokens will be set to 0. And if you want to spend season 1 using your season 1 purple tokens to buy stuff out of season 0, you can. So if you want to have everything out of all the passes, you do have to constantly keep playing.
The coins expire.
Yes. Basically, they don't want to make it so that you can save up coins to just bang out battle passes the day they come out.
Okay. So you can still buy the old thing that you didn't get, but you have to use the current season's coins to do so. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in the end, you can end up wasting your.
And what it means is that basically, if you bought a battle pass that you were loved with, but you never got to it, like I stopped playing for 3 months, you can then go, well, I don't care about any of these new ones. I want to go get that battle pass that I got a couple months ago.
Okay, that is not as generous as it initially sounded, but it is a decent compromise in the sense that it's not attacking you with the worst FOMO, which is the usual goal.
As somebody who has interacted with many of these gas games and their battle passes and all this shit, The only one that does it better is Helldivers, because Helldivers, you just earn currency forever and the battle passes are available forever.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if season 0 is going to go away in 19 days.
Okay. But ultimately, for most people, I think it's like the thing that you want to get is available. You just have to go play the current game to get it.
Yeah.
Is more than fine. You know?
So yeah, if you buy one battle pass a year and it takes you 6 months to earn the currency to do it, you can, and it's whatever. I think that's actually a fairly good compromise.
And there's no like season 0 currency is worth twice as much type, nonsense or shit. So yeah, it's ultimately just like if you come back to it after a while, play the current season to earn enough to go back to buy the old things.
That being said, I can't believe how good the game is at the free level.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. It's bananas, in fact. So you haven't been playing anything. How was Holiday Matsuri?
So yeah, that went pretty cool. Went down, returned to Florida, and after. So at first, I joked about like, hey, how about that Waffle House round 2? Rebel 2. Should we the rematch? And then it was like, okay, wait, where should we go? Wait. And it's like, okay, no, wait, seriously? Are we actually? And ultimately, we decided not to. But in lieu of going to the Waffle House for a second round, I did finally get a chance to experience TGI Fridays.
Oh, thank goodness it's Fridays.
Yeah. And it was during the holidays, so I didn't get to see all the flair that should be worn, with the pins and such. But yeah, that is a fast casual mid-ass menu that delivers exactly what it says. And well, I wasn't hungry when I left. It was
what day did you go on to the CGI Fridays?
I think we went on a Saturday.
Boo.
Yeah, it's fine. It was fine. I kind of the places I've tried where I've walked away going, okay, like this is a fast casual chain or whatever, but you know what? That Cracker Barrel, intimidating aura and all, still had some pretty tasty biscuits. Or the B-dubs, the Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, okay, the boneless wings, aka nuggets they had, like those. I enjoyed some of those.
Throat annihilating boneless wings.
Why are they throat annihilators?
Oh, you didn't hear about this? So there's a dude who ate a Buffalo Wild Wing and like slashed his esophagus on the bones inside it.
Oh.
And he sued them and he's like, what the fuck? You guys said this was boneless. And then he lost that lawsuit because the courts in the U.S. decided that boneless wings don't have to have no bones in them.
Oh, fuck me. I didn't hear about that, no. Okay, well, yeah, that's insane. Although you should be chewing your food, like, to be perfectly honest.
Wooly,
but that's crazy.
No one on God's earth can tell me to chew my food if I don't want to.
No, you can put yourself at choking harm's risk if you want to. But yeah, that is still bullshit. You can't you should not be able to advertise boneless and then put an asterisk that says may contain bones.
That's why I only ask for my pizza boneless. God
damn that judicial system. So the warnings were clear. There was a possibility that the events I described, fighting game charades and sound trivia quiz, might have cringe factor.
It's possible.
Turns out it was okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did cringe test. I did make sure. And actually, no. If anything, I was kind of thinking about like how the difficulty might work for people across both, and the charades went really, really well. It was a pretty fun time. The only downside, of course, is that it was on Friday morning, so not as many people were there because most people get their like Saturday passes for conventions and stuff. But yeah, we had a game. People came up in teams, and they had to. The key to that game was you don't get to just do whatever fighting game move you think you know how to do and make people guess it, because someone coming up there being terrible and just doing a jab or something and being like, yeah, guess who's or whatever, that's dumb. So I made sure to pick the moves, and you had to choose from a list of those and then do your best to take a crack at it. And we picked some pretty good ones. Not to mention, we had a system where you could call in an assist and have me or Reggie jump in and do it.
Aww.
You know, for you if you looked at it and went, I don't know what the fuck this is. And it's like, all right, assist. We'll come out and do it. It was really fun. Obviously, you know how well it's gonna go when somebody goes up and does their best Merkava, right? That's our long-armed under knight.
That's tough, man.
But it worked, you know. Pretty good. Same thing for sound trivia, which is up now actually on Willy versus the Algorithm.
Is the Ergaze noise in there?
It sure is. The first half second of the noise, the and sure enough, people went, "Oh God, that yes," and totally got it.
Awful noise.
The first frame of the Ergaze noise was enough for people to get it. So yeah, that worked out, and we gave out some prizes for folks to go to the Artist Alley. So no, it was really those events were a lot of fun. It is interesting because, like, you know, balancing things for difficulty, even if you pick like the easiest noises, which like,
oh, it's tough, man.
So some noises are super easy for people, but like the person next to you has knowledge that you don't. So the person that's heard the Wheel of Fate is turning 1,000 times has not heard the intro drums to Third Strike, you know?
Yeah.
And you're both like, oh, but then your blind spot is right there. And it's like, that's why the goal was get 3 in a row. You know, and yeah, I love that feeling of seeing, like, you know, your anime games super well, but like certainly they existed. Those blinded by ambition is flying right overhead, you know. So yeah, those were a lot of fun. What else went on? ProZD was there. Finally got to go say what's up. And that was nice, you know, just like, hey, yo, hey, burp, burp.
How's King Dragon?
Hanging out, doing his thing, doing all right. Nice fellow. And then I decided to roll for some IRL gacha.
Oh, yeah? I saw that. I saw that shit.
So I walked by the 10-0 booth, and 10-0, they have a bunch of cool merch, including, like, I got this buckler shirt, you know, and some other cool stuff that they have from different fighting games. And one of the things they got is the Third Strike pins of like certain characters doing certain moves, but they're blind boxes. So I'm like, I see an Aegis Reflector, I see Hyakuretsu Kick, you know, and then Makoto, you know, doing her Fukiagi. And I was like, okay, well, let me, you know, most of these are pretty cool. There's only a couple things here that I wouldn't necessarily want, but it's fine. Let's roll for it. And I opened it up, and yeah, sure enough, it was a Yun activating Genajin, and it was the super rare version that had the Genajin ghost colors on. And it's like the hardest one to get. And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't want this. This is what defeated Chirithi in Third Strike this year at EVO. Fuck this thing. I hate this stupid thing. You know? And then it was like, all right, let me just go 2 more. And then I get a Dudley, and then I get another Yun. And it's like, son of a bitch. Come on. You know? And that's when Reggie was
just too good. Damn.
And then Reggie was like, all right, no, fuck that. I'm going in. And Reggie grabs 2. And then it's another 2 Dudleys. And then our friend who was with us, she grabs another one, and it's another Yun. And, like, by the end, it's 3 Yuns and 3 fucking Dudleys. And I'm just like, what is this shit, man? This sucks.
You can either just pull one or keep pulling till you get what you want.
Yeah, I'm reminded of the Devil May Cry Diamond Distributing toys from, like, DMC 1. Where it was like you get 1 Dante per case and 19 puppets.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
Eat shit. Everyone hated. Every store owner was like, "Fuck this company." After that, so yeah, I'm like, where's where's my pity system? What's going on? And they're like, that's what it is. I'm like, God damn it. So I tweeted that out afterwards. I just took a picture and I went, fuck gotcha or whatever. And, and then Ultra David, who's like of 10-0, is just like, thank you for your patronage. We appreciate your stick-to-itiveness. I'm like, I just promoted the Black Friday sale on a couple videos for y'all. What the hell, But it's like, yeah, all right. They know that Third Strike is for the people that want it. And they know that like the chances of somebody coming out for this merch and being a whale, if they even notice it, are high. This long after the fact, if you see Third Strike merch and you're getting in there, you're probably looking to whale it. But then Gonzo, thanks Hanzo, behind the scenes was just like, hey, if you head back over there, I told him you can just to grab one out there for you. So the pity system actually activated.
The pity system wasn't really a pity system. It was a pity/friend system.
It was a influencer/friend/FGC.
Like, I know a guy system.
I know a guy in the back pity system. Yes, exactly. 100%. Absolutely.
So you've transcended like the pity system to just straight like pity. Just like, oh no, oh.
Damn. Yeah, well, I got my goddamn pin, and you know what? That battle pass.
And that's what mattered.
And that battle pass wasn't too bad in the end. Yeah, this game's all right. I'm gonna keep playing. Fuck, man. I was like, can't you at least do the thing where you do the X-rays and then you package them together so that you have a set that guarantees the full set if you want to go all in?
No.
Anyway.
Just keep buying until you win.
So we did that, and I guess there was a bit of a lag hiccup, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it happened on my end too.
Okay. Seems all right. We'll
don't worry about it.
Keep an eye on it. Yeah, went out with a couple of folks. Diosama and Kitsune Star took us out for Ethiopian food. I've never had Ethiopian food.
Oh, Paige is crazy about Ethiopian food.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, it was pretty good. I remember once there was a lady who was braiding my hair when I was younger, and she was kind of, she asked me to she's like, oh, do you want to stay for dinner? Because it was taking a while, and it was like sitting around with the communal kind of eating thing. And, you just kind of do it with your hands. And I was like, I'm good on that. It was... Yeah, it wasn't like during COVID or anything, but it certainly wasn't particularly sanitary vibes.
It's good for you, man.
But what you get when you go to the actual cuisine restaurant is like your own thing to hand pick out of, and sanitizer as well. So they obviously have that part covered. But you get some really good, it's like you get like a soft bread to just kind of pick things up with, and it was great. It was great. It reminded me of like grabbing like naan and eating a curry with it type of thing. So yeah, if you've got an Ethiopian food place and you've never tried it in your neighborhood, consider that. It's different. We also got to, Ventus Fury, really nice gentleman that it was the person that originally turned me on to Buc-ee's, and
right.
when first preached about the good word of Buc-ee's, came back with a bunch of stuff, like just box full of, got a cyberpunk guide and a board game that's called React, just like a fighting game board game or something to check out. So thank you very much for that stuff. Very, very kind. And another kind person came up and handed me The Infinite and the Divine, a Warhammer 40k love story. So I might crack this open at some point and find out, because the pitch was pretty cool. It was basically something about what if two salty immortal fuckers were after one thing.
What's it called?
The Infinite and the Divine.
Oh. Is it?
Yes, I was.
You mean that book Paige has been ranting and raving to me about for weeks, and just went on a book club to talk about, literally yesterday?
This exact one?
Oh yeah, Infinite and Divine, Traz and the Infinite.
That's the one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shit. That's awesome. How about that timing? So it's pretty good then.
Yeah, Paige went on the Numbskulls and did a little book report about that. I think that came out yesterday.
Well, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I was told that this is this is the good one. If you want to,
it's apparently super incredible.
Okay. It's incredible, Willie. You'll love it. Okay. I don't know when I'm gonna crack it open. But the pitch of like, if you're gonna check out some of this lore, this is an awesome place to start. And also, just again, two immortal salty fuckers going after it.
So
sounds fun.
I have not personally read the book, but I now know many people who have, and I have been told there's one problem with reading that book as your introduction to 40K.
It never gets that good again.
Book is really funny in a way that 40K books are not.
Yeah. Okay, right. It's the introduction, but also from here you're in. But
it's also the weird one,
and it's all downhill. Mm-hmm.
No, not downhill. It's just like, it's not like a gut buster the way these two shitty old robots are.
Okay. Damn. What the hell are the odds of that? Unless it was, you know what? This might have been a coordinated two-prong attack, perhaps.
Maybe, but 40K's time is now.
Okay. Well, duly noted. I have put it aside, so I'll take a look. And yeah, I think beyond that, just it was a good time. They had CE Otaku at the same time down there, so.
Did you win?
I compete. I'm working. Like, I'm doing multiple events a day. Like, that's not.
So you would have, but you were busy.
I was very busy. That's correct. So I let someone else take a crack at it. There was a really cool dance arcade machine I saw that apparently has been a thing for a couple of years now, but I've just never come across it. It's a Konami game called Dance Rush, and Konami has been post DDR has been keeping it up and releasing new games and one-off things, but pretty much exclusively to Japan or Round One.
Dance Rush, huh?
So if you're in America and you're like, you have Round Ones near you, then that's awesome. You're lucky. You have the opportunity to play these games still. But otherwise, if you live anywhere else like we do, fuck off. That's not happening. But yeah, Dance Rush Stardom just caught my attention because it's like,
there's no buttons.
There's no buttons on the dance mat, right? So if you want to DDR it, it's all about where you are horizontally on this large, light up touch mat, pressure sensitive.
That's crazy.
And so note charts are coming at you that sway from left to right, and it asks you to put your left and right feet in position and move them around and step and slide and sometimes jump or crouch according to what's coming at you on the note chart. But the end result of what it's sending at you teaches you how to shuffle.
Yeah, I'm watching two guys play it right now, and they're shuffling all over the fucking place.
So yeah, it's not just it's not like, oh hey, Just Dance where your whole body thing is there, and it's not just like the do this body gesture. It's like no. The notes are asking you to learn how to shuffle and then learn how to do the running man and learn how to do a bunch of other actual dances, and it's really cool. It's set up in a way where because the thing about DDR, of course, is that you get to the highest difficulties of that, especially competitively, and
it's
then
getting weird.
Well, because you have freestyle and then you have points, and there's a point where you're just like, this is a billion notes that you're grabbing the bar and going and there's nothing resembling a dance anymore.
High level DDR, I've seen a lot of people lean back and hold the bar behind them so that they can just tap as fast as possible. Well, this doesn't look like dancing at all anymore.
Right, exactly. And as the freestyle competitions are where you get to do that, but for these ones it's not. And here the actual game is really teaching you actually how to dance and move and stuff, and I found that pretty dope. So yeah, it's interesting as hell, very cool, and I'd love to try it out more, but you gotta be in America near a Round One or in Japan, and that's it. Because it also turns out that Konami has exclusively released machines just to this store only. Mm-hmm. They don't even sell them to regular arcade operators anymore.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, but that's pretty much it. If you came out to Hall, Matt, and I met you, thanks for doing so. Had a good time, very fun. Me and Reggie got to meet some cool people, and yeah, very very chill overall. Good games. On the arcade setups and everything. Saw someone running a really cool hacked rock band with all the music you want in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, damn, I kind of always wanted that. I didn't know it existed, but it's like, yeah, the 360 version with this whatever, like literally all.
I want it all.
Everything you want in it, like set by game. And I'm like, oh, there's the Revengeance fucking OST. There's Sonic Frontiers, all of it. So that was very cool. This week, I am back. I'm recording this.
He's back.
And I'm going to collapse after this is done. Tomorrow is going to be Christmas. And then, depending on how much battery I have left, if I get my energy, we might do a 2 streams or 1 stream on Thursday or Friday. Please look to my Twitter and Blue Sky for schedule announcements, because we still got to check out Cyberpunk. Phoenix Wright has 1 more session, and 1000X Resist is going on as well. So we're coming back with that. There's a lot I'm not gonna get a crack at MVCI and beyond just yet, but obviously that's a big one. Shout outs to Max and crew for releasing a fucking amazing looking. This is the best mod pack I've ever seen for.
It's up there.
Like just about anything, and it's what, like, the moment we saw that, like, the Marvel 3 had the ability for people to just throw in their own characters and stuff. I'm glad that Max kind of saw it as the opportunity with the same thing, which is fuck the individual groups of people making cool things here and there apart from each other. Unite it and make one big awesome effort together. And then got music from Alex Mukala and Little V and people doing all kinds of new soundtracks, new art for the character logos, and top to bottom incredible effort. So I'll when we get a chance to come back and take a look at that, I will. Not to mention Core Upped, the other fighting game, just came out too. So more about that soon. But yeah, for this week, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 0 if I'm dead. I might just be completely collapsed and out of it. Streams later this week, as well as a bit of a season finale for the year of Versus Wolves is coming out too. So that's going to be on Friday. Check out my schedule to find out exactly when I'm going to go live. And yeah, I might just give a half-hearted thumbs up and do a half Phoenix Wright stream and call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you need some nap time.
Nappy time with Wooly is priority number 1.
Fuck.
What's going on?
All right. So first things first. I don't believe we had a confirmed name at the end of last week's podcast, but I'm here to tell you that this dude has been officially named Caboose.
There you go.
Nah.
Back that shit up.
He was almost Traz in the Infinite, actually. He was almost Knuckles or Elbows, but it is Caboose.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that junk inside that trunk?
Because when he stands, he just throws his ass around all the time. And also, Wooly, you were the deal breaker on this when we contacted you. So thanks again.
Okay. It was going back and forth.
Thanks for naming so many things in our household.
Hey,
you little baby.
Good names are good. It's important. The image conjured up of a wide load fucking coming through as that ass is shuffling around is incredible and fantastic. Not to mention, there's a subtle little red versus blue in there.
Yeah, but also when he gets his wheelchair, he's going to look like a little dog train.
There's that. Yeah.
Let's see. What else is going on? I played Marvel Rivals a lot. Yeah. I've started going through the Metal Gear series on stream.
That also came out. The Delta?
So that came out last year.
Oh, wait, the collection?
The collection came out last year.
Okay.
But it was so fucked up. It was super fucked up. I don't know if you remember that. But like you couldn't run it at good frame rates. It had all sorts of control problems, etc.
Okay, it got fixed.
So it got fixed. So I'm like, okay, fine. This year, in that that December to February lull.
Yes.
Right. Let's do the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection.
And Delta's not out yet.
Last night I played for the first time Metal Gear 1 for the MSX. Have you played Metal Gear 1 for the MSX?
Yeah, like a million years ago.
I was astonished in just how many elements from Metal Gear got recreated going forward, down to the microwave hallway. There is a microwave hallway at the end of MG1.
So it's kind of funny because like the first Metal Gear games, like proper, not the NES, but like proper MSX releases, show you that like Kojima barely tried with the new ideas. Like he kind of just remade those games,
the same game like 5 times in a row.
It was nuts with the same twists and everything. You know, and it's like it's a reference. Like it's not a reference. It's the thing. Yeah. Solid Snake in particular is like it's like wow, just doing it again. Okay, fresh coat of paint.
But it's cool though.
It was fucking sick.
Yeah. No, I am astonished at how solid that game is for 87. It's one of those things that you kind of backhanded compliment where you call like an old game like, wow, it's still really playable. Right? There's like it's like got an annoying inventory system with the card keys, but like aside from that, like no, it's like no complaints.
So
like it's great.
I remember learning that because Ghost Babel was very reminiscent of it, right? Like and from having a fun from playing Ghost Babel and kind of seeing like, oh yeah, shit, like this design holds up and does work. And my hope is that like, okay, we're in a future where Kojima has gone his separate ways, and that's understandably what it is. We're going to see Delta come out here, and, David Hayter's like the face of the series now. There's undoubtedly going to be more effort to revitalize this franchise and make some money that Konami's going to put forward. I'm imagining they're going to go back to these games likely and try to spruce them up before they give an attempt at something original, which might go horribly sideways with a MGS6. You know,
I would expect we would see the second volume of the collection first, being 4 and Peace Walker.
4 on PC.
But like Pops and Acid deserve to live also, and Ghost Babel.
There are other games they can resell, that they can port, that can be freed. This is true. But like once we're past the efforts of like porting everything locked, I imagine the safe move would be, okay, we did Snake Eater and didn't fuck around with it too much. It's like literally just the same, even like the same voice clips, right? Everybody's just getting paid again, and we're keeping all that. So this kind of thing where like Metal Gear Original and Metal Gear Solid 2 Solid Snake could be like proper buffed up into more.
I think remaking Metal Gear 1 and 2 is kind of a ridiculous idea, considering Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 are... So Metal Gear Solid is a remake of Metal Gear 1 and 2, and Metal Gear Solid 2 is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1.
So
in canon.
Yes, and the problem is if you try to make it fit into the existing timeline and such and go back and retcon things aggressively, you're going to run into huge problems where it was not supposed to be this. Like, these games are sequels, but also replacements. But I think if an attitude of kind of just like, fuck it, we're remaking the first one, shut up, is still one way to go about it. And I would rather that than the original crack at 6, Metal Gear Survive had an original story. And we heard about that true
Metal
ending.
Gear Survive would have been fine if it didn't have Metal Gear on it. Like, there are parts of that game that are cool, but the fact that it's like the aftertaste of firing Kojumbo, like that thing was doomed.
And then your secret ending that fits all the pieces together is fucking wild. But yeah, I could just, I could see the an attempt that is basically like the reimagining and or like, don't worry about how it fits in. But we're sprucing up those old games.
You know what they should do? They should fucking remake Snake's Revenge. That's what they should fucking do.
Oh
that would
God.
be fucking cool. but completely non-canon fucking.
But to do that and ignore the others completely?
Yeah, no, do that. No,
that's brutal.
New timeline going off of Snake's Revenge.
Brutal. That hurts. Right, the one that had nothing to do with Kojima. Oh my God.
He says it's cool. He says he thinks it's cool.
Actually, a Ghost Babel like, remake could rock as well. I still fucking love that. But anyway,
but yeah, Metal Gear. Metal Gear is good. I played a little bit of Metal Gear for the NES last night and was planning to go through it until I found out that after the intro, it's like literally the same exact game but worse.
Yep, it's inferior across the board.
So I'm gonna just skip it
There's
and go
no
straight
reason.
to Metal Gear 2 tomorrow on Christmas, which was the plan because Metal Gear 2 takes place on Christmas.
Huh.
Takes place on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
No shit.
Yep.
I forget.
It is one of the only Christmas games.
Bayonetta 2?
Bayonetta 2 is also Christmas.
That's a Christmas game.
And Yakuza 1 and 5 are also Christmas.
Cool. All right.
There's not that many. There are really not that many. Home Alone for the NES, Parasite Eve, Die Hard.
The Die Hard
Max
trilogy,
Payne.
sure.
Arkham Origins? Really? I didn't know that.
Miles
but that's what's been going on.
Morales. True. Okay.
What's that?
Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, that is yeah.
Okay.
So that's what's been going on video games. Been playing a lot of fucking Rivals. That game's so goddamn good. And I also went back and played some D&D, and I have a D&D story for you, Wooly, that I would love to hear your opinion on. So if you'll excuse me, little caboose. Okay, bye.
Okay, wait.
All
no,
right, so in our group, there's the DM, there's me, there's Paige, there's the Paladin and the Fighter, which are not part of this story.
I heard.
And then there's a third person. Let's call them Jimmy. Let's just give them the fake name of Jimmy.
Random name out of the ether.
Random name.
Okay. I heard some drama went down. Let's go.
So we do session 0, and in session 0, we're all like, hey, I'm going to be Paladin. Hi, I'm going to be this, that kind of thing, right? And we're trying to do that. And I sit there and I say, hey.
I'm taking notes.
I have a bunch of different ways I can play my character, everybody. The only thing I want to know, what are you playing so that I don't play the exact same character? And I speak to the DM about like my idea, and I go, all I want is to not play like the same class as somebody else. If there's a paladin, I don't want to be a second paladin. If there's a cleric, I don't want to be the second cleric, right?
That's your only specified.
That is my only ask because it is my first game.
Okay.
Right? And then I ask Jimmy, hey man, what are you going to be playing? And they won't tell me what race their character is, which is kind of weird right off the bat, and actually just refuses. And then says, I'm thinking of playing a bard-like character. I go, okay. I'm not playing a bard. I want to play a warlock. And that works out well. We've got a paladin, a fighter, a sorcerer, a warlock, and a bard. Okay, great. Now that's a lot of cha. That's a lot of charisma. But okay, fine. And then we all roll our stats and talk about our stats and where we're going to put our stats. And, I'm going to put this here. And that goes fairly well. And then we run 3 or 4 sessions. in which Jimmy has a problem. And the problem with Jimmy is that Jimmy is a DM for other games. And that is a problem because when I turn to the DM of our game and go, hey, am I rolling insight or this or that, or how does that work? Jimmy jumps ahead before the DM can say anything and answers for him, which then precludes me going, no, but DM, what is the answer to my question?
Okay, a little overeager on that.
And also, he also gets some stuff wrong, so it's not even like particularly helpful as like an answer. And then
eager and wrong.
So kind of like me sometimes, honestly.
Gotcha. Okay.
But on top of that, when other people are role playing, he starts to role play his character on top of your scene by just talking over you.
Okay.
Right?
While you're talking.
While you're talking.
Okay.
Like interrupting you to talk about your thing. Okay. And it's not too bad.
And again, these are private sessions, right? These are just you guys just playing together.
These are in meat space.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
And I should mention that he talks over Paige more specifically.
Huh.
And Paige happens to be the only lady at the table. I don't know if that has to do with it, but who knows?
Interesting observation. Okay.
Right? So... okay. So we continue, blah, blah, blah. And after the... So he's not super active unless someone else is talking. And then in the Facebook group chat that we use to schedule it, we'll just dump like 2,000 word pieces of fan fiction about what their character did when we couldn't see them.
Okay. Got it.
Right?
Okay.
Like pages of shit. And it's like, okay.
That's crucial. That's big. Okay.
So then we go to the last session that we were at. Okay. So me and Paige don't know some of the players here very well, right? They're people that showed up for the game. Like we know the DM fairly well, but we don't know the Paladin fairly well, right?
Yeah.
So the Paladin starts telling us stories about his ex-wife. And these are crazy. These are crazy stories, and we are like enraptured. And we're making a rapport, and we're having a good time. And this is the beginning of the session. This is the setup, right? So like the DM is like in the toilet. I think he was taking a shit while we're discussing this, right? So, making friends, chatting it up, that kind of thing. And Jimmy slams his hands on the table, goes, guys, we only get so much time to do D&D a week. Can we please just focus on Dungeons and Dragons? To which I say, dude, and I say, I think it was, DM is inherently social experience. Like, we're having a social experience. Also, the DM is not in the room. We're not slowing down the game because he's not here. And he stands up and he mutters under his breath what I think he said was, guess I'm just a fucking asshole then, and storms out of the room to go angrily smoke weed outside.
Okay. Got it.
And he comes back in high as balls.
Oh no.
Like nothing happened. Like that interaction didn't occur.
Oh no, the road trip is already on its way. Everyone got in the car and we're moving.
Yeah.
We're going.
So
you didn't know who was getting in the car.
So, hey, can we please focus on D&D? I say it's social. Paige says, hey, don't worry about it. And then on the way out, he mutterly angry, like mainly to Paige, but guess I'm just a fucking asshole, and go like panic smoke some reefer.
does the
right?
DM weigh in at all?
So DM is coming back into the room as this is happening and is like, huh?
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
All right, so the session starts. Straight up, this is the talky overest, interruptingest session of all. It is so extreme that okay, so I'm gonna back up. You know me and Paige fairly well. We don't have problems with conflict, particularly speaky, talky conflict, right? But this is a D&D game, and this is like a new group of people, and we don't want to do that thing that we do where we just solve the problem, right?
Okay.
Because then this person will just dip.
Okay.
And then it might be like a whole thing.
Where
right?
you're socially feeling out.
We're being real careful not to step on toes and be kind and
normal, right? Being normal. Yes. Okay.
But it got so bad that I had to at one point go, I am asking the DM for his ruling on the rules. I'm not asking you. First of all, I'm not talking to you, but I'm not asking you for the rules as written. I'm asking the DM what his decision is on this rule because he's the fucking arbiter of the table.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that all ends up, but whatever. We actually have a really good time, all things considered. And then at the end, hey, we're using milestone XP, so we level up. This is the first level up. We're going from 1 to 2. It's a big deal. It's a good milestone. And we go, yay, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, okay. So then we're driving home because Paige is picking up and driving Jimmy and one of the other guys because they don't have cars. So we're doing them the favor by bringing them to the D&D location. And I'm sitting passenger and Jimmy is sitting directly behind me, right? This is important. So I go, oh, cool. We're going to level up. What are you guys going to do with your level ups? Right? Because I have this, and that, and you have this, and that. And the fighter starts talking about what they want to do, and they get action surge, and they're excited about having action surge. It's very normal, right? And I say, oh, I'm probably going to put points in this. And the Jimmy says, oh, well, you know what? I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it because all I have to attack is Eldritch Blast. And I go, but you're playing a bard. You don't have Eldritch Blast. He goes, well, maybe I'm playing a warlock. And I go, well, I'm playing a warlock. Well, what subclass are you going to be playing? He's like, oh, I was thinking about Great Old One Warlock. And I go, I'm playing Great Old One Warlock. I talked about this at session 0. And I go, okay, so what? Okay, so I'm like trying to figure out. I'm like, so what invocations are you? Because the main thing you would get as a warlock to differentiate yourself is invocations.
No.
What invocations are you going for? And he goes, I'm thinking about Pact of the Tome because there's a lot of good cantrips in there. And I go, that's the one that I picked, and you know that because I've been using those cantrips. Like, and I'm just sitting here going,
yep.
Like, out of 12 classes, it's mine. Out of 4 subclasses, it's mine. Out of 12 invocations, it's mine. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, the same character. Like, this is like mechanically, it's the same. It's the same character.
Yeah.
And I get home and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to pull out my phone. I'm going to go onto the Facebook. I'm going to go, hey, what skills, like deception or are you aiming for? Because I was planning to be a skill monkey.
Entertain the farce further, by all means.
And he goes, oh, well, just if you don't want overlap, just don't be sneaky or sleight of hand or anything like that, because I'm going to go for a disguise character. And I'm like, so my whole character's backstory is that he's poor, so he has a stealth advantage. And I was the one who did all the sleight of hand checks over the past 3 sessions. So like, so it's everything. It is literally every single mechanical decision that could be is the same.
And there's been 3 sessions so far, so there's been a chance for all this to be discovered by the whole group, and everyone knows the deal.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So let's stop here. Let's stop the story here.
Sure.
I was in bed staring at my ceiling, just like fuming, like falling asleep, pissed off.
Okay.
Just like outraged.
You, first of all, for your first game ever, this is the worst possible beat. This sucks because this guy exists, right?
A detail of importance. Most of us are using the D&D Beyond app. The D&D Beyond app in the campaign menu lists your character's name, profile picture, class, HP, passive perception, etc. Right? So it's visible. It's clearly visible. Except this Jimmy just isn't actually using the app. He's just singularly deciding not to use the app because of secret.
All right. My verdict is Yimby. That is.
Oh, I knew you were drawing Yimby. I knew it.
That is what I have decided. That is what I'm calling right here. So you have unfortunately just landed. You rolled a 1 in terms of luck on
absolutely bananas.
The person you're going to be playing the fucking game with. That's crazy. Insane and sucks because you hear stories about this type of game from people who play.
Multiple different subtypes of that guy combined into one.
And like, I what I can't tell is, are you hearing like a petulant bitch who's mad about getting a talking to, right? And the fan fiction and all that not being taken seriously, and just the like, is this retaliatory, or is it just that's cool, I'm that, right?
So
is it just the actual child brain?
So I'm of the belief. So there's a detail that I didn't put out that his character is pretending to be a bard as a warlock because their character, ever since they were a little child, has dreamt of being a in-universe influencer, which has also raised a heckle. Now, what I believe is happening here is that this person, influencer warlock, has been a meme over the past year.
Okay.
I don't know. You're probably not familiar with that. But influencer warlock has become a meme alongside stuff like lawful good necromancer and chaotic evil warlock who has an angel as a patron. Just like
sure,
goofy
funny
build,
bits, meme
right?
builds, okay.
So I believe that this is a combination of a wild lack of originality and horrible coincidence. And here's where the horrible coincidence comes in, because my options in this kind of interpersonal conflict are go up top, talk to the DM, see how this can be resolved. I asked the DM, hey man, so I asked you in person 4 times that all I wanted was to have a unique character. Did you know that he was rolling this thing? And he's like, yeah, but since your characters are different, I didn't think it would be a problem. And I go, but it is a problem. And I'll admit, I typed out like an essay.
Sure.
I typed like, when you're like, when you got it,
yep,
and you're just like, fucking,
yep.
I typed out this massive essay that's like, but now my mechanical and narrative opportunities in this D&D game are as the other warlock, which is not appealing to me. But also, the 2 primary ways to deal with this type of double class situation is either to have characters be entwined in their backstory like coworkers, or intentionally antagonistic style rivals, which I don't want to do because I don't like this person because they keep talking over me.
Right. And
like if Paige and I wanted to roll double wizard, I'll fucking like shit fight double wizard all day because it's my wife and I know how to back and forth with her, right?
And how did our captain respond over here?
So,
is he gonna fix it? Or did he not notice the dead pixel?
The DM offered profuse apologies.
Okay.
And we actually ran into him at the grocery store like this morning.
Okay.
Not planned, just like, oh, hey, man. And the long and short of it is that I get a free reroll on the whole character. Because we both, everyone is aware that trying to force Jimmy to change anything about his character is going to result in some kind of interpersonal disaster. And I am just gonna fucking dodge that bullet right now. And I just completely rebuilt the entire character and changed what I needed to change in the background to be a cleric instead. There's no cleric. I kept all my roles from the original session and I reslotted them and I changed the backstory to be appropriate.
Okay.
So on top of that, the DM feels very bad that while also like not like allowing this to happen, he actually disallowed a character race for Paige's character because it would require more work. But now he realizes that he could fix it. So Paige is going to be able to change her character to something much more appropriate at a later date in some narrative event. So she's super happy about it. And like we're tweaking all the backstory and all that crap so that it works.
Okay.
I have also gone to the trouble of writing in some racism into my character's backstory because Jimmy is clearly playing as a changeling, which is a type of fae, and we're playing a campaign in the Fey Wilds. So I'm just going to insert some anti-Fey racism into my character's backstory, which is going to give me a narrative and mechanical reason as the only party member with healing to just never, ever heal this person for the entire campaign. Just never.
Okay. That's a hell of a response, Salvo. So here's the thing, I guess. You're a part of a group, right?
Yeah.
So there are others who are perceiving this bullshit going down and like can see what's happening, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do they have feelings on the matter? Like
Paladin has doesn't come with us in the car, so he missed like 99% of this.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the fighter is too chill. You know those people that are just like too chill?
Okay.
That like kind of let everything go and always have like a smile.
Okay.
Like he's just super chill.
Because like I mean I know like circumstances you know you don't. You do what you can with what you got and you roll with the punches, which you have designed here. For me, just based on the types of stories that I know about people that behave that way, and like that from friends I know that play D&D as well and have talked about these types of people, like the get out and storm out of the room person is like they leave or we all leave. Like that's
so here's where I'm at.
You can't play nicely with that person because inside no lessons will be learned. The same mistakes not only will continue to be made, but they just escalate because that person's an asshole. And there's just no getting along.
Here's where I'm at. This is a slightly more complex situation that I'm usually dealt with.
Yeah.
The D&D community in my area, lots of people know each other. And with this being my first game, I do not want literally my first game ever to be marked with me forcing someone to get kicked out or storm out.
Understandable. Absolutely.
It will follow me forever.
That is a very, very shitty outcome to, starting this out. A bad beat roll.
Now, what we can do is finish this campaign, and when they're like, do you want to take these characters and roll them into like what's the space one? Starfinder? Whatever, I forget the name. Spelljammer. I'll be like, nah, and then just workshop a new game with the DM with a highly similar group of people.
Yeah.
Maybe plus or minus.
Sure.
A little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Roll with. Do what you got to do. You know, and
there's like two bonus details here that I did not know until Paige told me, because Paige is like more into the chat boards and whatnot in our community. And that's basically Jimmy routinely goes, "Hey man, does anyone want to play Blood Bowl?" in like the massive group chat to crickets. And that was
people
now
know.
That is more clear
People
as to why that is.
People know. Yeah, there's no way people don't know. You know, that much is clear. And the other thing is, like, you know, please look forward to the session where the two characters in game are talking at each other and it stops being meta, and the real conversation starts happening in game.
So you know what the fun thing is that like somebody in the chat said, "Wow, this guy must really suck to cosplay racism." And the fun thing is that I actually really hate the Fae in Dungeons and Dragons specifically.
Oh.
That like race / enemy
Legitimately.
type
Okay.
is my most hated monster type of all. They're awful because their whole kit revolves around crowd control, which means that when you fight them, you lose control of your character and your turns get skipped. And you have to play all their little, I didn't say this and it's iron and all this shit. Like, I fucking hate the Fae for real. So I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to put my real fake racism into my fake real character.
You are Antifae. And you are marching loudly.
That's good. I like that. Also, because I'm playing a light cleric, this means if we do hit 5th level, I will be able to cast Fireball, which means I can cast Fireball incorrectly to humorous effect. Because Fireball is a 40 by 40 foot cube of flame. Which I'll save you casting it on somebody in melee range means that mistakes can occur with 8d6.
And Paige is also around for if things ever get a little too heated. She can throw out a healing spell as needed here and there.
The system that is the DM should handle it, because if the DM doesn't handle it, then I will handle it. If I don't handle it, the wife will handle it. And we want to stay away from that course of events. That is the last resort.
It's oh my God. Wow. Yeah. Again,
playing with other people in person is just so interesting.
I mean, I've heard about that person in the group of people I know that plays that were like, oh, fuck that, never again. In fact, some of the old Club Space people know some of the same people and such. So you might even know.
Some of the old Club Space people are some of the same.
Exactly. So you might even know, but it's just like, yeah, that's the worst possible introduction, man. That sucks.
So I am currently super excited for the next session. I'm so excited. Like, I'm excited to play a game, and I'm excited to fucking rubberneck my own life. But there is a genuinely just super very happy ending to this. So I have a bunch of friends that I play the Final Fantasy 14 with. And they all run D&D campaigns constantly and have been for years. And I've always been invited, but I never went because of my experience in my 20s where people telling me that I ruined their campaigns. I was like, well, I don't want to ruin my friends' campaigns, right? Now that I have been in a D&D campaign with that guy and been like, oh, that fear was totally unfounded, I have reached out to my buds and be like, the next time you guys run a campaign, if there's a spot, put me in, coach. I would very much appreciate that. So that is going to be in the near future.
Yeah, I think the most telling bit is the like DM like paragraphs, you know, that off game time. Like, that's where you're at. Like, that's the person that's like, everyone I'm a protagonist and I should be like, that's the focus that they want it to be on. That's what they're hoping everybody's reading and keeping up with.
I'm actually the hero, but I don't have the personal confidence to act out all this in front of a table full of people. So I'm going to just type it in the Facebook Messenger.
And it really is that, like, oh, something cool someone else did. No, I did that. It's my main character is a hedgehog that moves really fast. Yeah. Actually,
so I'll tell you what, though, there is a
but it's yellow.
Line. This is a very strange situation because I was planning on playing what's called a goo warlock, a great old one warlock. I'm familiar with the class mechanically and what we are likely to encounter. There is a line in the sand that I will drop this game on.
Okay.
Great Old One Warlock has the potential for the worst main character party griefing possible, because at level 3, they gain the ability to telepathically communicate with anyone they want, which means if the player wants to and the DM does not stop them, they can initiate conversations with NPCs that the rest of the party can't hear, which means we will be forced to sit there and listen to a one-way conversation for however long it has to be. And if that starts to occur, I am out of there.
Well,
I am gone.
On the plus side, fortunately, since they don't have an original thought in their head, they're not going to be able to think of that type of thing.
Maybe not, yeah.
Unless, of course, current clip notwithstanding, you just put the idea in the ether and it might land on ears that might suddenly get the idea. But regardless,
I don't think that's
then yeah, right? The entire setup, the whole thing is you thought of something that you're doing with your character, and someone that can't think of that just goes, I made this. So what you're thinking of might not necessarily occur within the brain that didn't put the rest of it together. That's something. That's something.
Oh yeah, D&D in person is super fun.
Yeah, man.
It's so interesting.
The lowest rung on your ladder is my highest. Wow. Okay.
As for me this week on the TV show, let's see. Tonight, that's the 24th. The 24th of December. If you're listening to this live or watching this live, Paige and I at 6 p.m. Pacific are going to be reading from the Grinch 2 script. So there was a thread on Reddit a little while ago.
I saw, but I didn't click.
What's the stupidest thing your dad ever did?
Yes.
And one gentleman said that their dad wrote a 91 or 92 page script to the sequel to Jim Carrey's The Grinch called The Way I See It.
All stolen jokes.
And gets drunk every Christmas and says that the only reason it didn't get made into a movie is because his family didn't believe in him enough.
That's the way I see it.
And then posted the whole script.
That's phenomenal.
So Paige and I will be reading from it this Christmas
fantastic.
Eve.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow's Metal Gear. Then I'm going to have chat help me get back into Warframe, and then more Metal Gear at the end of the week. That's over at twitch.tv/PatStaresAt.
Okie doke. Quick break, and we'll BRB. Alrighty.
I have an addendum before we continue.
Yes.
It should be noted that Jimmy from the former story, Pad's D&D experience, also is the guy at the table who smells.
I see.
Straight up.
Okay. Here, I have a yellow highlighter. I will add a couple stink lines to the art. Let me just make a quick... There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go. Got the highlighter, stink lines, and everything. All right.
Oh, not weed. No, it's body odor. It's take a shower, stinky.
Perfect. All right. This week, the podcast is sponsored by Boot.dev. Hello, Boot.dev. Yeah, so programming is a particularly hard pathway to go in life, but it's so useful. If you can figure out the mystical codes and how to use them, then you can create your own games, work on websites, be a part of teams that are indispensable, be indispensable to the teams you work on. And in particular, it's a job that's been paying quite well. According to Stack Overflow in 2023, back-end developers in the U.S. Earned over $100,000 on average. So if you are thinking about getting into programming, and if you want to learn Python or Go, Boot.dev is a really good way to do it, because I failed from programming because I couldn't grasp it. I don't have the brain for it. But also reading through thick manuals and just copying and pasting is not intuitive, not particularly engaging, not very fun, and or easy to retain. But the way that Boot.dev is set up is you're basically going through like an RPG. You're going through a fantasy environment where your character, you can level up, you can unlock quests, get rewards, and experience a whole gamified version of learning as you code. And each stage involves you kind of solving a different programming challenge that you're presented with. It's not just kind of surface level either. It goes pretty in depth. It's got a full curriculum, and it takes the time to go through all of that. And if you're a student and you're trying to learn, if they have a 30-day no questions asked refund policy, as well as a free demo of every single course and its interactive features. So you can go just preview and check out what they're going to be teaching you right away on the site. From going in depth as well, besides all the like leveling up and XP and quests and stuff they have set up, there are boss fights that people collectively join in on. Everyone's coding to do damage to the boss of the season. And with each one comes a big lore drop as well. So I found like a big chapter on what the latest arc is. They're now in chapter 4. So yeah, they have a really fun way to learn how to code set up. And of course, if you're ever really stuck and you don't know what to do, there's solutions for every challenge on the site. There's a active Discord community as well, where you can go and meet other experts and programmers that can help you work together to figure out how to make it through your lessons. And you can unlock pages of your spell book, so you get little cheat sheets as well with links and notes that you can review at any time. So yeah, it's just the funnest way to learn how to do this. And obviously the benefits at the end are you can make what you want and or get a great job. Very cool way to go about learning. I wish I had the opportunity to do something like this.
Yeah, same.
When I wanted to learn
I could be out here
program.
making something of value other than this stupid podcast.
But don't be like us. Go to boot.dev and use the code CastleSuperBeast, and you'll get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. So you can go to the show notes and click the link. That's at boot.dev/promo equals CastleSuperBeast. And if you use the code CastleSuperBeast, you're going to get 25% off your first payment for boot.dev. Thank you, boot.dev.
Thanks, boot.dev.
I'm gonna put Yimby back up. It's very important.
Gonna Yimby it back up. Okay, little piggy. You gotta go back down to your bed. Bye-bye. Oh, hey, I've been doing something on my show. I take the dog's like fucked up little arms and I wave goodbye.
Oh, he can't tell you're laughing. All right, so yeah, I thought it was gonna be a light week, but there's a couple things going on. Speaking of dogs, how about Krypto, the super dog?
You know what?
You don't have beef with Krypto.
That Superman trailer looks great because it has all that stupid Superman shit in it.
There you go. Right? I'm like, you can't possibly have beef with Krypto, the super dog.
Like, I saw Guy Gardner, and I'm marking out because Guy Gardner fucking sucks.
Guy Gardner is the ultimate. It's the best. I'm so happy they went that way. And furthermore, it's Nathan Fillion, which is a perfect thing because I'm like, okay, last time we thought, is he going to be Nova? Is he going to be Nova? Because clearly he works with James Gunn and he could just jump in if he wanted to. And it's like, no, he's not going to be. And it's like, oh, you're going to be a Lantern? You're going to be, because you've got that face. You could be, and it's like, I'm going to be fucking Guy.
You know, the terrible hair.
Fucking haircut. So it's like, okay, he does not want to be anyone cool. He specifically wants to be lame, and that's great. Because, yes, Guy Gardner, the absolute fucking asshole with a heart of gold.
Yeah, but just a fucking lame idiot.
Huge,
I love it.
Huge jerk, but he's got it where it counts on the inside.
I like that we get to see, first of all, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Great. Nicholas Holt's awesome. But we get to see him in like what appears to be a Superman-based tantrum. Like he looks like he's a step away from like thrashing around on the ground going, I hate Superman so much. And like, yes, please. I would like to see a proper actor throw a child's tantrum over how much they hate Superman so I can incorporate that into my heart.
There you go. And you know what? Hawk Girl. Sure. Why not? Throw that in there. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I can tell you the first thing about Mr. Terrific because
I looked him up.
I cannot.
The smartest man in the world.
That'll do. But yeah, here comes Krypto. Now, I guess the thing is like I don't know like what the if there's like rebooted or what the rebooted Krypto origin stories are or what they're gonna go with, but I hope
there's a dog from Krypton.
But I sure hope we just stick with the plan, with the original, Yeah, before we sent fucking Kal-El out, we just stuck a dog in a rocket first, but it hit a comet, and they got there late.
Like, I have a strong feeling that it will never come up once.
It's the dumbest, dude.
I think that looking at this movie and like watching James Gunn stuff, I bet where did Krypto come from will literally never come up once. It'll be like, this is just my super dog.
He took a blood transfusion and now he's got the power.
Nothing. There's Superman's dog. It's a super dog.
Fucking Jor-El stuck a dog in a ship and Leica'd it into space, expecting it to work before he sent his kid out there. And that's why Krypto's a thing.
Sure. I think that like retroactively adding characters into a cataclysmic backstory is usually pretty bad, but I feel like Superman, like how many people got off that planet, man? Like a bunch, right?
There were like the explosion has like 18 different fucking ships going in different directions. Everyone had their little pocket rocket ship. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Shut up. Let's see where it goes. You know, we're about due for a decent, colorful, fun Superman story. We open up the door to the Bat Hound,
yeah,
as well. So let's go.
There is a non 0% chance we will see super dickery based content in this film.
Holding up the water.
Yeah.
No one gets a drop. I always get the planet name wrong, but
Do you think Lois will turn into a black woman in this movie?
I mean, I wasn't gonna imply it, but it might just happen. She might have to get to the bottom of things. You know what? It might just be like the report on her screen when like Clark walks over to chat and she turns around to talk, and just on her screen it's just like, I spent a day as a black woman. Just, you don't explain it, but you see it on the monitor.
For the comic nerds. Yeah.
Oh fuck. I wish. I can only pray. No, that's a trailer, you know. Nothing else to it, but seems cool. Also,
I would be very interested in seeing this Superman film.
Yeah. I forgot. I'm hoping that we see Krypto de-throat a monster at some point. That would be pretty sick, too. Get all that All-Star in there. Krypto at one point fucking goes ham on a...
What did you say?
Rip the throat. I said de-throat.
Okay.
Rip the throat out of...
Okay, all right.
And with that, I guess we have, like... It's not supposed to be, like, a cinematic universe, but they're going to obviously be able to continue... I
don't know what they're doing. I saw James Gunn say, I just wanted to make a Superman movie.
Basically.
And that's as far as that shit goes.
Yes, and he doesn't have the say, but for sure whatever is made will become a cinematic universe because money, you know? There's no way they fucking...
There's real money dollars.
Don't lean in as hard as they can and fuck that up immediately. I heard, like, there's a Lanterns show coming out on HBO, and, like, I don't know if Guy Gardner's going to tie in with that or not, but I didn't even...
who knows, man?
I didn't know that was a thing. Anyway. Yeah.
Virtua Fighter news in there.
What do you want to say about Virtua Fighter?
There's an interview with Yamada about Virtua Fighter.
What do you say?
There's a lot of details in there. You want the good ones?
Sure.
Okay, everybody at Sega loves Virtua Fighter, and they were really excited to bring Virtua Fighter back. That's not all that shocking. They are going to have a very large single-player story component as part of this Virtua Fighter, and they talk about how they were able to make a really big city very quickly for the trailer, and how RGG's strengths will be brought to bear in making this game. So they're going to have like a mini Yakuza series. Let's see. Kung Fu influence, blah, blah, blah. I want the very special. There's no special moves. It's very difficult. Lack of character motivations being in the games is a massive problem, and they're going to fix that.
Yeah, that is, people just show up and they're there. The karate man does karate. Judo guy does judo. Okay.
But the no arcade release is going to be home only. But there's one quote here that is just A+, which is, it's not about changing the rules or making... Hey, buddy, hey. It's not about changing the rules or making the screen more flashy. It's about amplifying the appeal of the matches while keeping them plain and serious.
Amplifying the appeal.
While keeping them plain and serious, aka boring.
Okay, so they won't ask anything of you or simplify anything, or not simplify. They're like no new systems, but a fresh coat of paint and perhaps some explosions that don't affect your combo.
So they have said that there's no reason that Virtua Fighter can only have 3 buttons.
Ah, okay.
Which is really funny after last week's podcast title.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, I think though we can like the story mode was going to be expected. It's like this is literally what the studio specializes in.
Yeah. Hey, can you give me a second? Because that dog is going to break through that door to chase a rabbit or some shit.
Okay, Caboose is boosing. All right. The boost is loose.
They also go into that time may have passed. And a lot of time may have passed because, as you can see, Akira looks very different. So it'll be interesting to see players' feedback as to what they have done with Lao and Shun-Di. Those characters are going to be dead for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe there can be a new Drunken Master.
Yeah, probably. You know? I think we're going to see a fair amount of casts rearrange, and I think that some characters are going to be a new character that just happens to look and sound identical to the old character.
A combat kid.
Like Stella, basically.
Could do that. Fourth button is just heat.
It's probably dodge.
Oh, Virtua Fighter 3?
They're probably going to bring the dodge button back.
But you didn't need it, though. Like, that, because you could literally just, like, double tap, and it was all in. It was all there, you know? It was just a shortcut for something you could already do in a way. But, yeah. I don't imagine it would be, like, a button that changed how old moves worked or anything. So you would just go, like... Yeah,
man, you gotta keep that shit plain and serious.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we'll see with it, but yeah, none of that too surprising, you know.
There is a fun detail where they say they announced the 2 new projects before Pirates in Hawaii released because they wanted to impress people in the industry with how many projects they're working on at the same time.
God, that's not a good metric. That's not really a sign that things are going well. Like, that doesn't mean anything, man.
I mean, it is for them because they're making 10 projects at the same time. And they all come out good.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens to fucking Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, but that's not them, right? That's not
RGG. RGG. Sure. Yeah. No, I guess the only other bit, though, is just kind of like, it's clear and understood that this is a vanity fucking ass project.
100%. Like the higher ups at Sega and people in RGG just wanted to do it.
This is for if you're one of the few old fans, if you're one of those crazy Japanese competitors, and or just that one guy that introduced himself on stage. This is for you. This is not expecting to go and crack open the genre and soar to the top of the FGC competitive scene, but it will get its time on Evo stage for sure. You know, all that will be there.
It is of note. So one of the things in there is like, well, we know that younger people know about Virtua Fighter, but they don't really play it. And it's of note is that like VF1 to Final Showdown is less time than Final Showdown to now.
Yeah.
Like, Virtua Fighter's entire life existed in less time than it's been since Final Showdown came out.
We need like whatever that 3rd to 4th generation like amazing quality crunches, you know what I mean? Or like not 3rd to 4th, rather 4th to 5th, you know, just that 98 through 2002 like insane run on the industry. Like any series that started there, must have like an entry for every year, and they're all pretty solid or at least decent. I
think they're going to change some of the stuff, and I think you know the waggle for stun.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, Guilty Gear got rid of it.
And I think one of the reasons that if it wasn't going to be gone before, it's definitely going to be gone now. Because I don't know if you played any of Revo, but because of the way that stagger thing works in Revo, they accidentally gave Eileen an honest to God infinite.
Oh, what?
So Eileen had down PKP, which was 2 little taps on your knees. And you had to like frame perfect waggle out of it in order to be able to block before she threw one out again. So for most people, it's a straight up honest to God infinite.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that will not be there in end of January.
That little monkey girl, she's fun to use. I like her.
She went from bottom of the barrel to like top tier in Revo with her. They changed a lot on her. I mean, including giving her an infinite by accident.
Like, Virtua Fighter is a franchise that in my brain, I'm like, I always just button mashed. Like, I never learned to do anything beyond a couple of, like, recognizable, like, oh yeah, I know, like, with the monk, I can kind of do a couple of these inputs consistently, but I am fucking just wailing and seeing what happens. Conscientious smashing, you know? Cool. All right. Well, again, I can see that things are going to get a little complex because it's like, all right, you always have, you know, like when you get to your Evo main stage, you always have a Street Fighter, a Tekken, and you know, a Guilty Gear or of sorts. And then, you know, Mortal Kombat gets its honorary slot, or does it? City of the Wolves is going to exist. 2XKO is going to come eventually. And then Virtua Fighter, like... Do we just
there is going to be a year in which it's Street Fighter, Tekken, and 4 new fighting games.
So that like there's going to be something has to get shut out is where I'm getting at, right?
There's going to be Guilty Gear.
They're going to pick the group and something's going to get shut out. But like, I don't see that happening with Guilty Gear still releasing content. There's 3 characters that have yet to drop.
Can get into the corner.
Most likely.
Okay, how many games does Evo do?
9, you'll get.
Okay. Street Fighter.
Although that used to actually, well, I think less now because of the.
Is it 6?
I think it's less now because of this the time sync. Yeah, because of the time. It used to be 9.
6, right?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, fine. Let's say 7. Street Fighter and Tekken, right? Guilty Gear, Virtua Fighter. That's 4. 2XKO. That's 5. You got room for 3 flex spots.
Yeah, well, so I mean that's kind of what I was saying is like basically every company gets to rep its game. And SNK is a part of that as well. Capcom gets a rep, NetherRealm gets a rep, Arxis gets one, Sega will get theirs, but like you have, it would be reasonable to expect, if not KOF, then City of the Wolves as an entry there. And then,
how do you think Street Fighter players are going to feel, or Tekken players are going to feel when Virtua Fighter becomes like the main game at the Coliseum at the very end?
Just annihilates it, right? Just like
do you think people are going to be upset?
Just eats its fucking lunch, Damn, Harada in tears underneath the shades.
It's really weird how easy I'm finding to say that. Like, I don't believe it, but I think part of me deep down does.
And you know what? I'm happy for you to feel as much joy as you can in this limited period of time. It's a good time.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be. Listen,
these moments don't happen often in life. We're currently in the middle of one of them. Why would I sit here and rain on your parade? I'm
not going to have time to feel joy soon because Virtua Fighter 6 will come out and I will enter into the apotheosis of my fighting game desire, which is like enlightenment as I discover how to use the 4th button.
There you go. I just I'm feeling happy for you, buddy. And as long as this lasts, let's just enjoy it. And it's going to be the best. It's going to get the most signups. Everyone's going to love it. And it's going to change the face of the game forever.
Virtua Fighter is for everyone.
Oh, boy.
It's for everyone.
Fuck sign-up numbers. Who cares? Anyway, so alongside that, speaking of imminent releases, hey, you looking forward to picking up Ys X Proud Nordics?
No, Wooly, I'm not.
Oh, but it's got new features.
It does have new features. It's true. It is true. It does have new features. It's an enhanced version of the game.
It is a significant upgrade to Ys X Nordics.
But Wooly, I bought Ys Nordics 40 days ago.
In October?
October 25th.
Well, why you do a plumber? Why you bringing up old shit? Get the new one announced in December.
So
time for the new.
I sent this to you a couple days ago because I couldn't understand why the two dates were so close. Like, who the fuck announces an enhanced version of an RPG before the average person can even finish playing their new copy? And there were translation delays.
Yeah.
On Ys Nordics in English.
So last year the original was released in 2023 exactly. And it took about a year for the translation to come out. So it eventually released in October 2024. And then the announcement for the updated version of the game, Proud Nordics, was in December, 2 months later.
So like
Atlus style.
This is like the Atlus trick.
But the Atlus trick is not 2 months, right?
No, the Atlus trick is at least a full calendar year.
That's
after
the
the
thing.
Global release.
We give Atlus shit for doing that like a year after you've bought the game, and we go, what the fuck, guys? That sucks. This is approaching
42 days.
Well, this is that mobile game that announced its launch and shutdown in the same tweet.
Yeah, it is.
Right? This is where we're at.
This is like, don't buy Falcom game. Like new. Like, are you stupid? Like, why? Like it feels like, how could you not be burned by this scenario if you bought that game?
Yeah, Falcom is known for its annual release schedules. Comparison to Atlus is apt. That fucking. And like, I mean, you could decide to wait, but if you're on that annual release schedule, then you're just like, no, we have to get it out now. We have to announce it now. So yeah, everyone just gets fucked by that. It just feels like shit.
Someone in the chat says, to explain the delays, it's not that NISA took too long. Falcom does not give anyone the script to their games until after the game has come out in Japan.
So they can't.
You
even
can start translating today, the day
moment
of the
it comes out in
Japan.
Okay, so Stegosaurus.
That is ridiculous.
All right, dinosaurs at work. Yeah, got it. Okay.
That is even historically abnormal.
Yeah.
That would have been weird in the 90s if you were planning to release it in English across the like.
That just reeks of fuck you, we do it our way stubbornness, and shut up, who cares? Like,
speaking of
do you
that
want it
shit,
or not?
How's that PC port of Unicorn Overlord coming along?
Is this even news? Is it even news? It's like,
it's every time.
Hey, guess what? They're not gonna do it. Hey, guess what? Vanillaware and fucking hates PCs. They will never. You can't force them to do it. They will never fucking do it. Shut up. Get your money away from me. Leave me alone.
I think every interview with the people who work at Vanillaware is the funniest interview ever, because the questions always go in the same order. Hey, how was it making your new game? Oh man, we ran out of money and almost went bankrupt. Do you think you'll ever put it on PC? No.
Just like, you're just holding a keyboard up to George Kamitami, and he's like, ah! Get it away. Like, I just I think I went a little bit hoarse in the throat talking about 13 Sentinels, and you deserve it. You deserve it. If you don't want people to play it, then fine. All right, they won't.
At least they're like forward compatible digitally now. Like, we'll be able to play
13
Sentinels on the PS6 and stuff like that.
But you don't ever get to complain about the reception ever again, in my opinion. You just have to fucking take it.
Like, they are one like mid-release away from evaporating.
So Vanillaware is being more loyal to Sony than Sony is being to Sony.
He's right. He's right.
The platform holder themselves have had PC releases, even for promotional reasons.
I can't confirm this in my own mind, but I believe when I believe when 13 Sentinels was coming out, there was an interview in which someone at Sega said that they have offered to just port the games for Vanillaware, and Vanillaware said no. God. Just dinosaurs at work. I mean, what is there to say? It's this type of just, I'm bunkering down. I saw a story that someone had tweeted out that was like, in Final Fantasy II, the Ultima spell only does like 500 damage or something, and is really weak. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's a bug. And then when they asked the programmer who did it to fix it, he went, well, it's an old spell from the past, so it would be weak compared to modern day magic. And then they're like, okay, but can you fix it? And he goes, no. And then in the code, he also made it obscured so that no one else could then go in and fix it as well. That's so fucking funny.
And it's like,
that's really funny.
What is this? Why? Why do you think this way?
That's really good.
Dinosaurs at work. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, you know, you can stay trapped in the past, right, in the Triassic era, trying to program there. But while you do that, you know, some companies are forward-thinking and moving into the future.
How forward we talking?
Well, I mean, Ubisoft they're gunning. They're gunning for tomorrow.
Are they?
Yeah. Have you seen Captain Laserhawk, the G.A.M.E.?
Yes, I have.
So Ubisoft just released a new game called Captain Laserhawk, the G.A.M.E. And long story short is you have to purchase an NFT to play it.
Oh, good.
That's how you get your profile going. And again,
we are all the way over on NFTs. Like that thing is dead and gone.
It is Christmas Eve today. We are entering 2025 in less than a week, and they're releasing this now. If anyone had any wonder why we just laugh at the word Ubisoft when you say it out loud, what the fuck what more do you need if not an Assassin's Creed like story, or if not the ownership shit going on? By the way, this is a good idea over here.
You get the feeling that people at Ubisoft are disastrous managers, and that tons of their projects are moving forward when they shouldn't be, or stalled when they shouldn't be, or on the verge of being canceled for no reason, and that they're just burning buckets of money literally every single day going, I don't know what I'm doing.
Has the main head been cut off of the 1,000-headed Hydra, and like everything is just flailing in its own direction?
It's like you cut off the Hydra's ass, and a bunch of asses sprouted up and started shitting all over.
No, not the main ass. Yeah.
Oh my God, we got an assist from Dad Asna, who found a banger tweet from Ubisoft. Rayman Together, I don't know who this is, probably a fan site, says, what a way to destroy the positive reception of your new brand and frustrate your community. To which Captain Laserhawk Universe Official responds with, it's a Captain Laserhawk game, not a Rayman game. Anyway, Rayman belongs to us. We can do whatever we want with them, even replace them if needed.
That's great energy.
Fucking why?
That's great energy.
Why would you fucking respond to that?
Oh no. That's put that out there. Yep. One of 1,000 asses. Just going in that direction. Perfect. Saying nothing is free. Mind you. Cool. Okay.
Holy shit.
What the fuck happened? I remember like when Blood Dragon was a thing, and it was like, oh, Far Cry spinoff that's all like Escape from New York and 80s references and synth. That's a fun bit. And then they had made the whole extra spinoff that was like they had it was what was the crossover with not Trackmania, but Trials, right? Mm-hmm. And then they did a bunch of shit, and then like I guess there was the show, and I don't know what the fuck any of this is, but dear God, man.
I have some suspicions as to what actually happened at Ubisoft. And it's a ton of different things combining together. The number one of which is Assassin's Creed was really successful. It was like the most successful thing that ever happened to Ubisoft. And two things happened. One, they started to turn every single game they made into Assassin's Creed, like every single one, while simultaneously firing Patrice Désilets and blackballing him from the entire industry. You know, the guy who made Assassin's Creed, like the director of the really good ones. and the Assassin's Creed's quality started to go down, but it still made tons of money. And then Rainbow Six Siege came out, and Rainbow Six Siege is the start of Ubisoft gassing themselves up, because Siege was really successful in the second year.
It was.
And after that, that's when everything had to be either Assassin's Creed or gas. And what we ended up with was like 40 games a year that were gassed up Assassin's Creeds, including Assassin's Creed.
Was
and then For Honor happened. Yeah,
Siege was also their first brazen foray into like NFTing. I think, right? There was like,
I think there was an
gun skins or something with guns. They did like right in the middle of that. So, and yeah, Patrice's. I mean, he was gonna make that Ancestors game, but
they fucked him over so bad, it's unbelievable.
That thing just got annihilated.
So to those of you who are unaware, Patrice Désilets was like the lead on Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and then Ubisoft fired him, and then he was under non-compete for a year, and then he went to go work for THQ, and then Ubisoft bought the dev at THQ that he was working on, and then fired him.
And took the project that had started. Yeah. And then I think
like overtly personal. Like, we're like absolutely clearly personal.
I think he did eventually. He founded Panache and then was working on Ancestors, but that I don't know that we've heard anything from it since. But yeah, petty as fuck. Anyway, enough of that shit. You guess what's going on in War Thunder?
What?
You'll never guess. You'll never guess.
Accidental espionage again? Is it classified shit on the War Thunder forums again?
To solve an argument about the accuracy of a Eurofighter jet, leaked documents specifying the components of a particular jet were posted on the War Thunder forums. This time classified from the Italian Ministry of Defense.
They need to actually pull those forums down. They're gonna and not like, oh, we need to protect military secrets. I mean, like that game company is like playing with fucking fire.
Like, I am 90% certain that these are just spies trading in info using War Thunder forums as a cover. But it's so believable that fucking military heads
nerds
are getting so angry at each other that they're like, whoa, bro, and they're grabbing files off of the intranets that they work at. It's so believable, but it happens so often. Anyway,
stop it. You're gonna get in trouble, and not like a little trouble. You're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
Pretty short, but a simple quip here. DeadSpace creators wanted to make a fourth game, pitched it to EA this year. EA said, not interested.
Yeah, DeadSpace remake, the first one, only sold like 1.5 million copies, so they're like, bullshit.
That's that.
And just kiboshed the second remake, and are just not. Yeah, so that shit's just dead. That shit's just dead now. Space.
It was a full release, full price, everything, right?
Yeah, it sold well. Just not well enough.
Not well enough. Okay.
Do you have Local Thunk versus Peggy on here?
Not really. But obviously,
did you hear about that?
Yeah, like they're like, because your game resembles kind of gambling but isn't.
So Bellatra was rated 3+ in Peggy, and then they just out of nowhere rated it 18+ for no reason. local thunk went on the social media and was basically like, maybe I should jam it full of real gambling and loot boxes and bullshit like FIFA does, so then you guys would give me a 3+ rating. And he's right.
Oh, hold on. Clarifying. It was the people that made the Callisto Protocol that made the pitch for Dead Space 4.
Oh, well, I wouldn't let them make it either.
I see.
Yeah, no, I would know.
Okay, clarifying detail.
That is an important clarifying detail. Well, they really tanked that shit out the gate, huh? By the way, I don't know how much of Callisto Protocol you played. It's just a way worse Dead Space.
I remember when you reported in on that. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Some people are saying no. Glenn Schofield, the original guy. So then that correction was false? Is that what?
No, Glenn Schofield worked on Callisto Protocol.
Okay. Did he also work on original Dead Space?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Callisto Protocol is one of those things. Callisto Protocol really did a great job. So, we're talking to Warren Spector, the creator of Deus Ex, who says you shouldn't credit only one person on video games. Okay. Glenn Schofield always said, hey, man, I made Dead Space. Dead Space is my baby. I love Dead Space. But then he went and made Callisto Protocol and showed off that he actually doesn't understand Dead Space at all, and that it was the team under him that did like lots of the good heavy lifting.
Okay, a little bit of a Mighty Number 9 situation.
A little bit.
Okay. So, Arcane.
Oh man, this fucking story rules.
Was a success, but did not translate to new League of Legends players.
That's crazy.
First season was a big breakout hit, but they didn't have any tie-in content at the time. So they kind of just saw an increase in people making accounts, but they ultimately just kind of left them and didn't really use much.
Do they think it's because there wasn't tie-in content to keep them? Do you think that's why?
And so this time around, there was a bunch of tie-in content, and it was successful by, audience metrics. And it just, the overall cost is the most expensive animated series. Of course, is going to be very high to...
Pretty pricey.
Right? 250 million, I think, was the figure. And then they were getting like 3 million from Netflix per episode. And then it says 3 million for international as well, or for it airing in China. But one way or another, with all the success of that, the goal of promoting the game and then getting people into the game ultimately did not lead to new players. So, if the thing being successful on its own is like good and means that you can continue that as its own venture for its own sake, then like it is of course like way too expensive at that point. But a lot of the time the tail end on these things, if you can sell or whatever the case may be, I don't know, like streamers work differently these days, but like a show made at a loss like this, if it's very popular, can eventually catch back up. But if it's just about getting new players on League of Legends,
okay, so there's so many things going on here. There's so many things going on here that make this so interesting. Okay, step one. Hey, Wooly, you watched Arcane, or at least some of Arcane.
Yeah.
What appealed to you about Arcane?
It was a cool world and the characters were cool, and I thought the story
was a cool world and the characters were cool.
The story was fun. I enjoyed the show.
So what if we gave you a multiplayer game that had very little characterization, no world, and no story?
Well,
does that appeal to you?
It hasn't done it yet, and it continues to not. Yet to boot that thing.
Number two, Arcane is a like legitimate, like, so you watched enough of Fallout to be like, this feels like Fallout, like, the vibes, right?
Yeah.
Arcane, the vibes are anything like League of Legends. I didn't see Jinx and Vi struggling to avoid getting banned for calling each other every slur they could think of because one of them went mid. right? It's the tone and the vibe is totally different. Number 3, there's a bunch of League of Legends spin-off games, but none of them take place in the setting that Arcane takes place in. The RPG by the Battle Chasers guys takes place in the Sunken Isles. There's a character action game that takes place in like an ice area. There's the card game. Like, none of them are the direct go from Arcane to this game.
I mean, I would say the bigger one being like story analogs makes sense, because Edge Runners, I'm sure, did its job in getting attention over to Cyberpunk, because
Edge Runners has the Cyberpunk vibe.
Exactly, and you have a big narrative, story-driven world for you there. Keep those words in mind.
But the most important thing, and this is the one that kicks, like, it's really funny because, like, they're not listening to themselves. One of the reasons they started with all of these spin-off games for League of Legends, they talked about this like 6-7 years ago. I'll never be able to find the interview, but they said that they believe everybody knows about League of Legends who plays games, and they have hit the capacity for people playing League of Legends. They can't grow anymore because people know about it or have tried it and like it or don't. So what they're going to do is leverage all of these characters to make a wide variety of new games, like a card game or an MMO or a shooter
or a fighting game
people into that, or a fighting game. So they admit there's no one left to get into League of Legends because League is so big and has been around for so long that, like, Wooly, you know that PUBG shit where we didn't know about PUBG and we're like, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you fucking heard about League of fucking Legends. Mm-hmm. League of Legends fucking everywhere. Dota and League are just omnipresent.
So FF14 continues to grow with its releasing of like these expansion contents and story things that are all like, again, big narrative driven, and time to jump in is now, updates and stuff. For a game that's not that story driven, I think another point of comparison would be like Fortnite, where they're like, here's a bunch of new costumes and tie-ins and whatever.
They constantly remake the game into new shit.
And
new
the
seasons.
game, I was gonna say, and the main game itself like becomes completely unrecognizable from what it used to be. Does League do anything like that? Like,
not on that scale.
Not on that scale.
They patch it constantly. League has this feeling of they want to add new characters all the time because that's cool, but it has this feeling of they want to fine tune it into like the ideal game, right? Okay. And they're the final thing, and this is really important. So I scroll on the TikTok, and there's a lot of Arcane fan cams and shit like that, and people love that show. People are crazy about that show. But every single piece of social media content you see from somebody who plays League and watched Arcane is don't start playing League of Legends.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
Don't start playing League of Legends. And I cannot, like, I would advise you, Wooly, personally or professionally, to fucking spend the 10 hours it needs to dip your toe in, because it cannot be overstated what a miserably antagonistic experience League of Legends can be. So it is without parallel.
I mean,
it has no peers.
I was going to say that this is a wild development with the franchise, because the second story here is that they're making spin-offs. They've announced new League of Legends shows that they're working on, but also direct Arcane spin-offs that they're also working on aggressively. So things were, enough of a hit that they're like, let's do more. But but this tapestry of like League-related side projects all exist, and it seems like the base thing it's built on is the large stagnant pool that might end up feeling the worst for anyone that decides to follow the path to its origins.
You know what the best thing about those spin-offs, Willie? One of the things that I brought up is that if they had a direct relation spin-off game for people to go from Arcane to, that'd be one thing. Right? So like if 2XKO was out right now.
Yeah.
You could tell people, like, because that's using like the Arcane levels and iconography.
Yeah.
You could tell people to go over there. So the three the 3 spinoffs, they've said where those spinoffs are going to occur. They're going to occur in Ionia, Noxus, and Demacia. All 3 regions which have no spin-off property to connect to.
Okay, so
because
they're isolated.
Properties are in Freljord and the Sunken Isles and cards and whatnot.
So they're all isolated things they're grabbing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is something to kind of look and go like, well, if this is working, this is successful, and we're making more of it. However, that original goal of getting you to sign up,
that original goal was a known lie to themselves. Like, this feels like cope for their investors or some shit, because like before Arcane even got greenlit, they're like, well, everyone, we got everybody on League that's ever going to go on League. We got to expand, and that's what's behind this massive expansion into like 10 different genres and games, and it's why Valorant is not a League of Legends shooter, because they're like, League of Legends players don't want to play a fucking shooter, so we got to use the same ideas and design elements to make a different audience.
I mean, those music videos drop, and I'm like, look at that animation go, you know, look at that costume. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like this can also just, I guess, with its existing player base, stay healthy forever. With just
healthy is a choice word. I would say the last word I would ever describe the League of Legends player base as is healthy.
Profitable.
There you go.
All right. Speaking of profitability, yeah. Where oh shit, where did that go? Frostpunk creators cancel Project 8 and lay off staff amid concerns that, quote unquote, narrative-driven, story-rich games just don't sell.
Shut the fuck up.
It was conceived under very different market conditions. So
shut the fuck up.
I mean, look.
No, Frostpunk 2 isn't doing as well as Frostpunk 1. That's what it is.
And there was another project, and that is now being shut down. Everyone's being fired. The quote: "It was conceived under very different market conditions when narrative-driven, story-rich games held stronger appeal. This, coupled with revised sale forecasts, largely reflecting the changing market environment, raises significant doubts of the project's overall profitability." Okay, so my impression when I hear that is like narrative-driven, story-rich games don't sell equals translate through bullshit, filter. A, we have investors that are demanding gas and mini buys, and we need to find the right wording to not upset them. B, we're working on something that might have been, I guess, like a walking simulator, but we didn't want to say those words per se, or didn't know how to describe it. So in this case, we're kind of just throwing that under the bus. Meanwhile, mouthwashing just came out and rocked everyone. Barely a couple of weeks ago.
Don't sell. Tell that to Metaphor, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Reaper,
Baldur's Gate. And they didn't just announce The Witcher 4, did they? I'm not currently playing.
I don't know how CD Projekt's Red's going to deal with the fact that Witcher 4 won't sell.
God of War Ragnarok.
That did bad.
Did a Stalker game just come out?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call that narrative driven though. Stalker games are fucking weird.
Okay. Well,
they're fucking so weird. Oh, I love them.
Yeah, look, if you're not talking, and like if you're like, hey, well, we're not talking about these AAA giant releases and things, and it's like, well, why don't, like, if you're taking the words narrative-driven, story-rich games and saying like that's the fault, that's the reason here, you're telling a lie. You're full of shit.
Also,
you're not telling the truth.
There's an underneath here. Because like a huge amount of games would be considered narrative driven or story rich across an enormous variety of genres. So what I'm hearing is that this game was entirely narrative Like you said, walking simulator.
That's the translation, right? Because it's like, yeah, like obviously like Baldur's Gate 3 being all of those adjectives, but also incredibly in-depth in engine and story and gameplay is great. And something that maybe their studio couldn't do, right? You don't want to make that comparison. Same for Cyberpunk. It's a massive, expensive, insane thing. So if we're just talking about the narrative element of it, well, okay. Like I said, we just had a mouthwashing, right?
Also, I would say there was a much larger... there is a way larger audience for narrative-driven, story-rich experiences than there are for post-apocalyptic city builders.
So, but like that's Frostpunk, right? This is a whatever other project.
This is different.
This is a different project, right? So I don't think it was necessarily the city builder, but like what a stupid excuse. That's just a lie.
What a stupid lie.
That's just a dumb lie. Like, why? But maybe some investors didn't get upset when they heard it, and so mission accomplished, you know?
Well, it's this thing. It's like these people that invest in these things aren't necessarily like fans or enthusiasts about the particular industry. So they don't feel the stupid lie like we do. I can feel the stupid lie in my chest the instant you started to say it out loud.
Well, yeah, because said people are like, well, the opposite of narrative story-rich driven games is multiplayer, no story, mini buy, microtransaction, live service sign up.
We got a great chat comment from Pastel Hermit. Says RGG has fucking made 45 story-driven games over the past 20 years, and they're doing fine.
Anyway, pretty good stuff there with that. Good reasoning given. I'm sure it feels good to get laid off, hear that as the reason given, and then go look at the Game Awards this year and see the nominees for in indie and story categories and see what's going on there.
So there's something I bring up every now and then, and I know you've heard me say it a bunch of times, but sometimes people haven't heard it. Usually you would say like you can have critics darlings and you have Oscar bait and winners and stuff like that doesn't necessarily translate into sales, right? Like I don't know a human being that saw The English Patient,
sure, but
I know it won a ton of awards, right? Video games are weirdly enough actually different. One of the reasons why gamers, quote unquote, give reviews such a big level of importance compared to music, automobile, film, etc., is that there has been shown to be a fairly strong positive correlation between high review scores and sales. It is the only creative medium in which there is a direct correlation between positive reviews and good sales and negative reviews and bad sales. So when you look at the games of the year for a particular like production, like the TGAs, those games at the top, they fucking did gangbusters. They crushed it. Now, it's not perfect, right? Okami, somebody pointed out. Yeah, no, Okami fucking bomb. Mm-hmm. But like by and large, good games tend to do well and bad games tend to do bad.
Things that hit Steam and go into overwhelmingly positive tend to also be doing financially well by that point. But in the metrics, I kind of, the thing is, I don't know what, like, I remember you talked about Frostpunk when you played it, and I know that,
fine,
but I don't know like what budget level we were talking about here. So like,
AA.
Okay, not indie completely per se.
No, in that weird space.
Okay.
It's about as expensive as you could make a city building like narrative game. I think they hit like the upper level of that budget. Like the only thing that would be above them is something like Civ.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's dumb. Speaking of dumb.
Yeah. Well, I mean that come on, we could do any story off that.
I know. That was low effort. Speaking of making important decisions based on bullshit.
Oh, that's that's also pretty broad. What do you got?
This one's a little left field here, but the New York Jets apparently have made hiring and trading decisions informed by the Madden NFL player ratings in game. And they avoided trading for a player recently, Jerry Jeudy, due to his low Madden NFL rating despite there being interest. Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, has apparently done this before and has impacted player acquisitions on the team based on looking at the score of the player in Madden and using that to affect who they sign and what and how.
I'm looking up the New York Jets' standings within their own division. And it's bad.
Oh no, no! Don't do that.
It's not good.
Don't do that. But that's fucking ridiculous and hilarious and crazy. But also, something has been happening in the background because there was I remember seeing when they had a player that was announced that had a 99 overall, and it was a big celebration press release of yo, I got a maximum, I got a 99 stat rating, I'm killing it in Madden this year, right?
Jeremy Roenick in NLPA 93 has a 100 rating in every single thing. I've never heard of the player. And
so it's it's become a actual big deal in the NFL for what your Madden rating is, but we don't know who or how or what the metrics are for how that's gathered and what that turns into. But what I do know is that it's been notoriously stupid and full of shit because, so you've heard of probably Tom Brady?
Yes, I've heard of Tom Brady. He's a football man.
Yes, he won the Super Bowl in 2002, many years ago. Mm-hmm. He was rated 51 overall that year in Madden.
So for 2024-25 season, the Jets have a win-loss record of 4 wins to 11 losses. That's pretty fucking bad.
I mean, just imagine being fucking nah, we're gonna pass on that because of the Madden numbers. The weird part is that you take this over to Ingerland.
God, this is the same discussion as the War Thunder topic. This is the same
real
thing.
Life bleeding into the game.
Yeah,
So you take this overseas, and here's the thing: Championship Manager, for a while now has actually been used for low mid acquisitions on teams and shit, because they have this system where thousands of scouts around the world all contribute, and they observe their what the player ratings are from all these small leagues in all these different countries, and there's a kind of collective of what the ratings are, and that go into the game, and so the whole thing is backed up and is used to affect real life football hires because of how they gather the data. They're not doing that with Madden. That's not what's happening here, Anyway, yes, Football Manager now, as it's called.
That is dumb as shit.
Good times. Anyway, that's all fine and dandy. Let's take some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter to Castle Super Beast, go ahead and send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
Let's take one over here. All right. This one comes in from Chris, who says...
Yo, Chris, what up?
Dear Unreliable Religion Pat, and this too is about racism Wooly. Last podcast's discussion about Naughty Dog's Intergalactic reminded me of Wooly's reaction to Metaphor Refantasio in episode 290. When Wooly was going, wow, look at this RPG heavily featuring racism as part of its world building, my initial reaction is, what is he talking about? That's almost every RPG.
That's almost every Western RPG.
And then I realized what I meant was that's almost every Western RPG. From Elder Scrolls to Baldur's Gate to Dragon Age to Witcher to Pillars of Eternity to Divinity to Greedfall, etc., etc., societal, racial conflict and tension is more the rule than the exception.
That's completely right.
By contrast, JRPGs are a corrupt church hierarchy and false religion, which are heavily trod through ground, though it shows up a good amount in Western ones as well. Neil Druckmann isn't so much purely being crazy by claiming a false religion is new ground for gaming, as it is reflecting that he probably just plays no Japanese games, the way Wooly's reaction to Metaphor reflects that he doesn't play Western RPGs.
Okay, so of the games on the list that he provided, have you played any of those games?
None.
None. Yeah. See, like we had trouble when you were talking about
Big
Cyberpunk,
if
and
true.
you were like, well, people were saying, oh, it's your first open world Western RPG.
It is.
And we're like, is that even true? But he just listed off like a huge amount.
All the things that were listed there, I have not played. Therefore, I don't have that perspective.
Of those are good.
Yeah. And a bunch of them, and they're all about racism.
Oh yeah, no, dude, Skyrim has a fucking white supremacist dickhead going, Skyrim is for the Nords. Like, it is a massive theme.
Yeah, so there you go. Neither's a problem, just thought it was an interesting mirror dynamic. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. You know?
Witcher is probably the series in which race and discrimination has like the largest like focus in the forefront.
Yeah. I mean,
like it's inescapable.
I will double down on Chris's point here about me not knowing and say that I brought the same energy to FF16. Mm-hmm. When I was like, yo, the racism though.
Yeah, and then they actually kind of fumbled it in a weird way because it's they're not used to it.
They're not, but I think there were some decent sticking points that they got to right before the last chapter.
There's one thing I saw, I think it was Haddock that pointed it out, that like it kind of broke me because I didn't pick up on it when I was playing FF16, which is the anti-bearer racism is so extreme that they're not even valued as property.
Right.
Like people will just kill each other's bearers, which are like load bearing like labor in their household, and they'll be like, yeah, fuck that guy. I hate bearers. It's weird.
Yeah, I thought that they did get into like they taking the concept and then adding that the specific flavor of like, and it can happen to you. Anybody can have one. Adds that extra like layer of like super hatred for a mother that gives birth to one and then goes, ew, get it away from me. You know,
I don't remember where it is, but it is in FF16 somewhere, but it's never shown to the player and it's not part of the story. But like, I feel like it might have been like a bigger deal that like the bearers had like a normie cleansing war like in the far past.
Yes,
that led to their treatment.
So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying like I thought that they closed it off with some good lore bits, because prior to going to the fucking final nonsense battle, whatever, that last continent where you're reading about the orphanage and you're
it's that one quest has that.
You read about the orphanage and you read about the war that took place and what the actual hierarchy was in the past. You know, and then this is the counteraction to that and the overcorrection. And that's the stuff that I found particularly interesting.
I feel like that should have been earlier in the game.
But that's
and not avoidable.
Sure. But that's a pretty good, pretty astute observation, Chris. That might explain why Druckmann said, yeah, we're coming after the church this time.
Now, Metaphor is excellent and goes for both.
Right.
Metaphor is, what if the church was outrageously corrupt and the source of systemic racism? You're like, oh, that's pretty bad, actually. Don't like that.
Hey, Bill Burr, don't you think that you went a little too far when you went after the church? Don't you think the church went too far?
Oh, I love Bill Burr.
All right. Let's take one over here from Al.
Hey, Al, what up, man?
Hey, Pat and Wooly, quick question. Do you have any examples of advice that people get or give in often in games that actually turns out to be super unhelpful and teaches bad habits? I imagine fighters have a ton.
Right away.
For example, a lot of people say ink your base when you start a Splatoon match. But it's actually a rookie mistake that can hurt teams a lot. It forces the rest of the team to get into a 3v4 battle in the middle of the map, and it usually puts you on a losing position, trying to reclaim mid in the first half of the game. Worst, your team gets wiped, and the enemy just inks all over your spawn during that, undoing the work anyway. The correct move is to toss bombs and spray a little ink as you race out of the spawn area, then slowly cover it over the course of the game. Pros will often just ignore it entirely until a full team knockout, then use the enemy respawn time to go back and cover their own base.
I have two, actually. Chat actually reminded me of one.
Okay.
Number one is a fighting game one. And it is like, you and I have heard it forever, and it's horrible. It's the worst. Hey, I don't know what character to play. What should I do? Well, you should try every character on the roster and see which one you gel with. No! Don't do that!
Oh, God.
Ever! Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Imagine saying that in a MOBA.
People say that in a MOBA. People say that in Overwatch. People say that in Marvel Rivals. No, pick the character that's cool. Pick the cool one.
Holy shit.
You see a character you think looks cool? Pick them.
You bought the game, or you're booting the game up if it's free to have fun. Look where the fun is and click on the fun one. Click on the one that looks like fun to you.
Click on the one you think looks cool and fun.
Don't do the thing that doesn't seem like it's going to be fun. You might not.
So, hey. Somebody in the chat asked the perfect follow-up question. Is that advice really that bad? That advice is terrible, because that gives you the situation where people load up Street Fighter and they start playing matches one character at a time and have a miserable fucking time for 20 matches and never even get to the cool character on the roster
What the
they
fuck
wanted
am I
to play,
doing?
and they quit.
Why am I doing this? This sucks. I don't enjoy it. You're telling people to go not have fun. And the thing is that, like, there's some genres of game are games where you boot up and there's no choices to make except for, like, I guess kind of like maybe customizing your own like character or so. But you're going in and the game will reveal itself to you. But in games where you're just given this big choice right off the bat, you just have to lean towards whatever you think looks cool. You know, rule of cool is the only way. Like, any time spent losing and feeling shit or whatever, or not getting what's going on and being confused while you also don't like the character you're using, you know, is terrible. That'd be awful.
Terrible advice. I have a second one.
Sure.
The second one is everyone in the world who has played Final Fantasy XIV and told someone about the Cure 1, Cure 2 interaction known as free cure. So if you cast Cure 1, it heals for, I don't know, a couple hundred potency. And every now and then, it'll give you a free cast of Cure 2, which means you won't have to use MP, which is nice. This is a trap. This is a built-in trap for healers, because Cure 1 doesn't do enough healing output, and people will die as you are fishing for Cure 2.
Ah.
It just literally doesn't do enough healing, to the point where I would tell people to take Cure 1 off the bar. Throw the whole move in the garbage.
Because time matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, like, if it counts if it's official or not, but Mario Party telling you to fucking grind your palm onto the stick is probably a bad idea.
You've seen people with the mark, right?
Ripping your flesh off the palm? Yes, the mark of the fake one, of the liar, you know, of the beast. Like, just don't do it. Don't do what the game tells you to do. Those games are bad. winding up your fucking little Shy Guy toy, or Tug of War, right? The one where it's not even like, oh, do this to a certain amount of computer speed inputs or so. It's literally outdo your friends to see who can break their palms first. Don't do that. Do not listen to Nintendo.
Don't do it.
The Mark of Mario.
Yeah, man, pick every character at least once while you start the game and you've never played it before is so like the worst part about it is it sounds reasonable.
So here, like, another way of phrasing it is, don't put homework in front of the person who's playing for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? You want to, like, you start learning something that you think is that you're interested in, and like that process is fun and doesn't feel like homework. But what does feel like homework is the grindy bits, the studying, the da-da-da. Don't tell people to go do homework up front. That's stupid. Anyway, I mean, I'm basically running a career on trying to undo that bad advice. All right, and we got one here from Brooke who says, quick question. I went to a funeral the other week and I got into a strange semi-argument with my family about the dress code.
Okay.
It's my belief that proper dress attire for a funeral service or a viewing is black. My mom and brother disagreed, saying that you just have to dress nice. My brother wore a really bright, almost casual outfit that made me really embarrassed. I settled with my mom on the agreement that bright clothes are okay as long as there's some black or muted element to them. What do you think? From Brooke.
I doubt it's in the email. This is cultural, right?
Step one.
Like, are you a white person in North America? This detail matters.
Step one,
right?
is yes. It like in China, I believe. I'm not sure which countries in Asia specify or so, but I definitely know that in some Asian countries you wear all white. Right?
Yeah,
that's the tradition.
If you're Irish and you're having a wake, the rules are totally fucking different.
But we can talk to North America here where we live, and
yeah, you're right. You should be wearing muted clothing.
My understanding and familiarity with it is all black.
Like you should. It is a somber event. You should be wearing primarily black. And if you don't have primarily black nice clothes, it should at least not be bright in any way.
Fancy is way lower on the priority list than dark and or black colors. If you have a dark blue suit, that's probably, you could maybe get away with it, but
you should not wear like a Trogdor t-shirt, though this is technically a black shirt.
Yeah.
It's also got Trogdor all over it. That would be inappropriate.
Not everybody has, a ton of expensive formal wear, so it's understandable if it, is not going nuts there. But like,
don't wear your fucking Hagao mind break sweater.
However,
don't do that.
But you can go full goth outfit. That is acceptable.
Goths are always ready for a funeral.
Absolutely, that's the deal. If the goth kids are doing it, then that's what you should rock. Yeah, your mom and brother are nuts.
You should not dress in a way in which you could perceive yourself entering into a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
You should not wear a Rurouni Kenshin Hawaiian shirt to a funeral.
I don't think you should do that. I don't think that's appropriate. And so what this person might say, but that is a really nice, that is dressing nice in your Kenshin Hawaiian, okay? But it's still not appropriate.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't think that would get you. I can just see that conversation. Well, I'm wearing my nice Kenshin shirt.
It's button up, Mom. It's a button up. You said get a button up.
There's buttons.
All right, last quick one. So, hello, Dr. Versus and Mr. Staresat.
up, man?
Valve began when a bunch of developers left Microsoft to form their own studio, and they made Half-Life. We all know what a big deal that was, and still is. Got me thinking about the best games from developers who left their studios or were fired or laid off, etc., and formed their own. Another example is Medal of Honor forming Infinity Ward and making Call of Duty.
That's probably the most important one ever.
So that's the big one. And here's the thing is that, like, what you're describing is the history of the video game industry. Like, this is the type of question where you might notice it once or twice, because I take it by the two examples given that you are a first-person shooter, it's focused person.
It's fucking
but
everything.
Every genre, everywhere, all the time in the entire industry, all it is, every franchise that's currently big, it likely started because it came off of someone who either quit or left or was fired from a studio and then went, I'll do my own version better. Blackjack with hookers, the video game industry story.
BioWare to Black Isle to Obsidian. Like the fucking...
Titanfall.
Titanfall. The guys who left Capcom to go make King of Fighters and Fatal Fury.
Respawn. It's just...
Oh, yeah, no, it happened again.
After Infinity Ward, people left Infinity Ward and then created Respawn. Fucking... the Yacht Club from Way Forward. It's endless. It's endless. Harmonix, yeah.
Capcom to like 10 developers.
It keeps happening, and it will continue to do so. And then the people who are the most talented ones that make the shit that's pretty fucking good would love to go do that again without pity people who don't know what they're talking about breathing down their necks. It's the history of of industry,
And then sometimes you get a Capcom to Clover to Platinum to Seeds to Clovers, in which the company at the top was right and that maybe making games that make money was important. maybe it was important to make money.
Did you get all the steps in there? Capcom to you missed a step. Okay, Capcom Team Beautiful.
I forgot.
Team Beautiful to then Clover to Seeds to Platinum to Clovers. Yes, right. Okie doke. That'll do.
Oh, and our newest, the guys at NetEase that were working on distribution for Overwatch and World of Warcraft. To Marvel Rivals.
Word. That's where they came from?
Remember NetEase and Blizzard fell apart like 4 years
that
ago?
Deal. Yeah, I remember when we reported on that deal falling through.
So no more Overwatch in China? No more World of Warcraft in China?
That's who ended up being the Rivals team. I had no idea.
Here comes fucking Chinese Overwatch, and they got the Marvel license.
How's about that? Holy shit. Okay. And the spite.
Yeah.
And the spite inside. Yeah. Absolutely. Tango. Absolutely. Yeah. It literally it's infinite. It's infinite. It's infinite. It's infinite. This is not a special case. It's literally just the way the industry works. All right, that'll do. Everyone, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Have a good New Year. Take care.
Bye.